What up, peeps? Yo ho, and a bottle of rum. Oh, my internet's pissing me off. Having technical difficulties. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Damn it. Dude, where is everything? What up, Bet? What's up, SMY? Tuffy! What up, my friend? How you doing? Whew. What up, Jesse? Ow, ow. Hey, yo, bitch, get me some lemons and some water. Dude, Cat Williams' DMX joke is fire. It is the funniest shit. What up, yo? Oh shit. Gotta get rid of this picture. Hey, yo, bitch. What up, y'all? What up? I tell you what, this Puffco Peak was a great investment. I think I need to run to the dispensary in a little bit and get some more dabs. Meow, meow, meow. What up? Yeah, these fuckers are great. I don't know why it took so long to get one, but it took forever. Especially, I hate spending like $300 on bowls and bongs and shit. Motherfucker. Rather had something called panty dropper. This live rosin that I got is called Hippie Crasher. Hippie Crasher. You got to hit it very lightly, Titan. Cause dude, it'll stay. It's still hot. Like if I'd have hit this like a youngster, I'd have been fucked. This shit's fucking good though. If you don't ever do it, it will make you like green high, like where you'll feel like shit. They'll drop JD's panties. Fuck yeah, they will. For the right price on OnlyFans, I'll drop my panties anytime. My kind of fucking kids. Oh, so your son's where I'm at. Even then, Titan, you gotta just slow walk it. It's fucking. You can't really tell how hard your hit is until it's too late. At that point, you're like, "Oh fuck, I done fucked up." But there is a better way. There's a better way. Damn, I should have rolled a joint beforehand. Has anybody read the terms of service from Trump Mobile? I'm pretty sure it says some shit about like the phone might not ever be released, which is pretty fucking wild. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, you and I agree that Iran is
POV. Who knew that? Who knew? It's not like the Trump family's like the biggest grifting family in the fucking history of America. No. Not diggity daddy dog Trump. Fuck. I picked up some more of this fucking tiger candy. This tiger candy is fucking fire. 600,000 people paid 500 for a phone that will never exist, right? It's like $59-60 million that they rip people off. And MAGA are crashing out about it. Let's see if I can find some of them on X. Let's see. Shit. Man, that fucking tiger candy stinks so good. It stinks so very good.
And yes, that would be 59 million American patron dollars spent. I got something good for you today. 590,000 people paid for a Trump phone. And of course, not a single person received one. And yes, that would be 59 million American patron dollars spent on this phone that doesn't even fucking exist. You got scammed by our fucking president. He scammed y'all with Trump University. He scammed y'all with a fucking charity. And now he scams y'all on a phone and you're shocked? Wait, I almost forgot about the Trump Bibles. Yes, Jesus H. Christ, rebranded as Donald fucking Trump. Please, if y'all buy one more of his fucking merch orders, I'm gonna lose my shit. I got something good for you today. 590,000
those ever elusive Trump mobile.
I know I saw a video of dude fucking freaking out. Like, Trump, where's my fucking phone? I guess MAGA's not smart enough to get on here and fucking, or they're not trying to get on here and look like they're fucking idiots.
We bring products back to our great country.
Fuck you, Eric.
Last June, the Trump sons introduced the Trump mobile phone, which had one major selling point.
You're going to have phones that are made right here in the United States of America.
We're going to be building phones in America.
It's about time we bring products back to our great country.
Built for Americans, by Americans.
For Americans, by Americans. Sort of like FUBU. For people who call the cops on people who wear FUBU. But still, a $500 phone made in America. Say what you want about the Trump brothers. This is an incredible deal. And of course, the haters will say that you can't build a phone in America, that the only thing we make here anymore are Nepo babies and look-smaxers.
I mean, look at that big, ginormous piece of shit phone.
September came and went. At one point, we were promised a November 13 date.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably can't use Jordan Klepper. Yeah, we'll find something else.
This goes out to Don Jr. and
Eric. Here's the dude I saw.
My phones! I ordered 4 gold Trump phones in the summer. Now we can't get any updates on them.
It's so funny.
He's not alone.
I hate to say I told you so.
A bunch of customers and MAGA fans are very angry to find that Donald Trump is breaking his word again. The Trump's family business has duped whatever fans it has left. This latest grift involves the Trump family's business failure to deliver promised Trump phones after getting down payments on them from a lot of customers. Now, how many people would actually like to buy a Trump gold phone at this juncture, say in the last year? Well, considering the past ripoffs and the fact that no major cell phones are actually produced in the U.S., so this seemed like a long shot. Well, you might think not that many. But the answer is well over 500,000 people each paid a $100 deposit to get in on the planned and promised Trump phone. Not a single confirmed customer, though, has gotten one. This is a report from the IBT. Meanwhile, the website for the so-called Trump Mobile, which isn't very mobile, includes a disclaimer. A pre-order doesn't guarantee a device will be produced or made available for purchase.
Oh, my God. It does say it. Holy fuck. It might not even be produced. Wow. They just updated it to say that, too. Fucking cunts, dude. I mean, they made $1 billion. They couldn't spend 60 of it. Or, like, to at least try to get some phones for people. What the fuck? What the fuck? Fucking cunts. Absolute cunts.
Phones.
Hey, Trump supporter here. This goes out to Don Jr. and Eric. Where the is my phones? I ordered 4 gold Trump phones.
Oh my God.
In the summer. Now we can't get any updates on them.
Dumbass.
He's not alone. A bunch of customers and MAGA fans are very angry to find that Donald Trump is breaking his word again. The Trump's family business has duped whatever fans it has left. This latest grift involves the Trump family's business failure to...
I mean, MAGA, I don't like to be the guy that says, I fucking told you so, or we told you so. Like everybody on the left said, fucking, it's a scam. The dude is a scam. Oh my fucking God. Where's my fucking phone? Dude, he spent $400. $400. And now he's finding out that that doesn't even count towards the phone that may or may not be produced. What the fuck? Jesus. Holy fuck, dude. Try getting a life, dopey. Oh, okay.
Deliver promised Trump phones after getting down payments on them from a lot of customers. Now, how many people would actually like to buy a Trump gold phone at this juncture, say in the last year? Well, considering the past ripoffs and the fact that no major cell phones are actually produced in the U.S., so this seemed like a long shot.
Jesus.
Well, you might think not that many. But the answer is, well over 500,000 people each paid a $100 deposit to get in on the planned and promised Trump phone.
God.
Not a single confirmed customer.
Hey, did anybody see the Kevin Hart roast and see Pete Davidson's fucking Charlie Kirk joke? That shit's pretty funny. And MAGA have lost their fucking minds about it. It's so funny, man. The Dow right now is coming up at over 50,000, yo. There's a video I want to show. It's pretty fucking funny. Piers Morgan had some crying butthurt comics on over the Charlie Kirk joke, and it's funny. It is very funny. It's like old bootlicker Dave Smith is calling out Trump. It's super funny, and calling out all the chuds.
Roast of Kevin Hart on Netflix, during which, in a particularly viral moment, comedian Pete Davidson made a very brutal...
Oh, man. Did they show the joke? Let's play the joke first.
Tony reminds me of Charlie Kirk, in that he's definitely been on camera letting a guy unload in his throat.
Ooh.
So the joke being Charlie Kirk was shot in the throat. That's how he died. And the other joke, part of the joke being Tony Hinchcliffe is a MAGA adjacent right-wing comedian who's gay, right? So it's both in a set. It combines somebody ejaculating inside Tony.
Okay. MAGA lose their fucking mind over this. It's so funny. And it's funny because Pierre's recognizes that his own hypocrisy.
Place. Ben Shapiro was upset. As Mediaite reports, Ben Shapiro slams Pete Davidson for Charlie Kirk joke at Netflix roast. Quote, new low. And if you just look at it, Pete Davidson, Charlie Kirk, a lot of people are upset. Libs of TikTok. Pete Davidson mocks Charlie Kirk's assassination. Absolutely sick. Brandon Tatum, Officer Tatum, says, disgraceful. Pete Davidson made a disgusting Charlie Kirk joke at Kevin Hart's roast. That wasn't comedy. That was vile and completely beneath the belt, etc. and so forth. Right. Again, these are prominent MAGA Republicans. So again, often, by the way, people who make fun of people clutching their pearls about jokes, now they're showing their hypocrisy and snowflakery. So with that in mind, and in that context, and you'll hear the joke in a moment because Piers will play it, I want to play some clips of Piers Morgan addressing this, starting with this one.
That doesn't mean everyone's enjoying it. Jokes about Charlie Kirk and George Floyd, for example, have sparked a heated debate about whether insult humor oversteps the mark and about the competing hypocrisies of the left and right. So can comedy ever go too far? And if the answer is yes, where is that line and who should get to decide? Regular viewers probably know my view. The line is wherever I decide it should be, often based on whether I personally like or know the person involved. And so for a change, I'm going to let my comedy panel have their say.
Talk him off a ledge, even though he absolutely would. Here's if you find. So,
and it was this. Let's watch.
Tony reminds me of Charlie Kirk, in that he's definitely been on camera letting a guy unload in his throat.
So
that's pretty good.
The joke being Charlie Kirk was shot in the throat. That's how he died. And the other joke, part of the joke being Tony Hinchcliffe is a MAGA adjacent right-wing comedian who's gay, right? So it's both it combines somebody ejaculating inside Tony Hinchcliffe's mouth with a joke about Charlie Kirk being shot. That's the punchline. Remember, this is a roast. So the jokes, be they at liberal targets or conservative targets, are very, very harsh.
Yes.
So there will be a lot of people who will have found that.
I also want you to note, by the way, that the three beside Dave Smith, they're upset. You see it. They're really pissed off. Dave Smith finds it funny. We'll get to his reaction a little later. But let's hear from the Patrick Bet David guy here in just a second.
Crossed a line, that it was too offensive, that it's too soon after Charlie's murder. And you've got to think of his wife, his widow, his family, his kids, people around him who would have probably found that horrendous. When you heard that joke from Peter, which got a mixed response, but when you heard that, did you feel that crossed the line?
Okay. Now, that's the question that tees it up, all right? Here is his response.
But there's also people who make their name in this career by not being that funny. Pete Davidson is one of them. Jimmy Kimmel is one of them. I'm not going to go there and say Dave Smith is one of them. That's not what I'm going to do. But the reality is Charlie Kirk was an absolute hero. And what's happening with him, people are literally taking their proverbial shots at him. The bottom line is this. Pete Davidson, name one famous joke he's ever made. I can tell you jokes that Dave Chappelle made, that George Carlin made, that every single comedian famously made, Chris Rock, right? Bring me the big piece of chicken. What has Pete Davidson ever done that's been
Charlie
funny?
Kirk joke.
In fact, when your dating career is more in the headlines than your comedy career, you're probably not that funny. So it's just par for the course. But the bottom line is this. We need to stop being so offended in this country and realize that free societies love comedians. And that's...
Except you sure sound offended, buddy. You sure sound offended. Like, a normal response would have been, I just didn't find it that particularly funny because I like Charlie Kirk. But of course, he has the right to make edgy jokes, and then he moves on. But he's so offended that he feels the need to attack Pete Davidson. That's how sensitive he is.
That's where we are.
Right. But so you end with a little stinger at the end because it looked like you were going down a path of saying you thought Pete Davidson crossed a line.
Yes.
So do you think he crossed a line? And should Netflix have aired that joke?
Fuck yeah. It's got people
I don't think
talking.
there's any line you can cross. The market will speak. If Pete Davidson wants to start doing stand-up comedy shows again and nobody shows up, let the market speak. I believe in free market capitalism.
So again, the idea being, listen, I'm not sensitive and I don't believe there should be a line. I just think the market will speak, and Pete Davidson, he's not going to sell anything. He's not, like, nobody likes him and nobody's going to watch his stuff. Okay. So with that in mind, keep that in mind. Piers turns to Dave Smith, former Trump supporter, political commentator, political debater, and stand-up comedian.
Okay. And Dave, I didn't get a chance to specifically ask you about this. So just very quickly, what did you think of that joke?
It was hilarious. It was a great joke. I don't even like understand entertaining this conversation of whether it crossed the line. And as you pointed out, Pierce, right? Like it just shows everybody's hypocrisy immediately, because like the people who are outraged about the George Floyd joke aren't outraged about the Charlie Kirk joke, and vice versa. It's a roast.
It was a good
It's
joke.
edgy comedy, and if you don't like it, then don't watch it. It's really that simple. And
It is.
you know, I mean, look, I'm friends with Pete, or I was friends with Pete when we were coming up in comedy together. And like, again, Adam can have whatever opinion he wants on who he thinks is funny and who isn't funny. The bottom line is that millions of people love Pete Davidson. And if he does go on a stand-up tour, he'll be selling out giant theaters. So like, if you don't like it, that's fine.
And he
But
also
that was a hilarious joke.
And this part is key, because Adam is right, or excuse me, Dave Smith is right. Pete Davidson is incredibly popular. Much more popular than Adam Sosnick or anybody on this panel, or indeed even Dave Smith, right? And I'm not saying that he is as popular as Kevin Hart or that he will sell as much as Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, of course, famously sells out stadiums, but he will do and has done extremely well on the stand-up circuit. Okay, so keep that in mind with what comes next.
He also does a lot of these roasts, and he regularly has awful jokes told about his father who died on 9/11. And he laughs and accepts.
Right, but Pierce, but it's all about, obviously, right, with comedy, it's all about the intention, right? Like, the intention of anyone doing comedy is to try to get everyone in the room to crack up laughing.
Right.
That's the goal. Pete does it. The goal when Pete tells that joke isn't like to get people to walk out. It's to kill to make it as edgy as possible and still hit you with a big punchline. And that's it. That's the natural, that's the way comedy works. It's a discussion between the comic and the audience.
Well, I'll say that joke was
that
the reason that we're having this discussion right now is because the joke was actually, in my opinion, Dave, you're entitled to yours, not funny. It was completely offensive. Gay Tony Hinchcliffe sexual reference to the throat.
But Adam, couldn't you acknowledge, like, and I'm not trying to take a shot at you here, you failed out of being a stand-up, well, you failed out of stand-up comedy, and Pete Davidson became a multi-millionaire famous success from it. So maybe you're not in a position to determine whether it's good comedy or not.
Yeah. Wow. That is fucking great. That is great. Great point.
I mean, again, he's entitled to his opinion, right? Again, like, you don't have to be a stand-up comedian to again have your opinion about it. And I don't. Again, I'm.
This is about the Pete Davidson roast of Kevin Hart joke that he said, "Kill Tony Hinchcliffe or whatever his name is." He said he's a lot like Charlie, and he has had a guy unload in his throat on camera. Which is just so good, dude. And this chick right here is going to act like it didn't make any sense. Like, yeah, it does make sense, you fucking dumbass. Not you, Gilbert. This chick about to speak.
I found the joke funny, but my position is not that it was objectively funny. If you didn't like it for whatever reason, maybe it was too gruesome for you. Totally understandable. Yep. Totally get it. There's nothing wrong with that. The hypocrisy and snowflakery coming from these people, that is what's interesting to me.
Well, yeah, Pierce, I can't be a hypocrite. If you recall, you were very upset about my joke about George Floyd that I had made previously. So, yeah, I do think it's funny. I also don't put George.
She's referring to a George Floyd joke that was made by Tony Hinchcliffe. Again, she finds the George Floyd joke funny, which she's entitled to do, but not the Pete Davidson joke funny. But apparently not because of joke construction, but because she prefers one person to the other.
Previously. So, yeah, I do think it's funny. I also don't put George Floyd and Charlie Kirk in the same category. I thought the entire special was really good. I thought it was really funny. The only problem is I just didn't think that joke about Charlie Kirk was funny. I think he could have took that joke, used anyone else in a different scenario, and I think it would have been more funny.
Then for you?
Comparing a line that is supposed to be crossed, it's comedy. Do I think it's inappropriate? Yeah. Do I think it was uncalled for? Yeah. Do I think he could have done a better job? I don't think he's funny, and I don't think the joke was funny. You're comparing a guy who has children that are going to grow up and see these things, whose throat got shot out, traumatizing millions of people around the world, to, like, I'm sorry, what's the politically correct statement? Blowing loads in the guy's throat? Those two things have nothing in common. It
Well, again, it's a play on words, right?
Jesus.
So unloading is a reference to ejaculation. Now, maybe she's too dumb to know that, but that's a common slang phrase for ejaculation. Tony Hinchcliffe is gay, and Charlie Kirk was shot in the throat. Unloading is also an expression to talk about shooting. You know, when you shoot something, you
It's
unload.
so weak. So these people, dude, they have just become the biggest bunch of fucking crybabies ever. Ever, dude. Fuck me running. Try the truth. Go President Trump. Oh my fucking God, dude. It's just not funny. Jimmy Kimmel is a failed comedian, not funny. Dude, how do these people not see how fucking stupid they sound? Jesus fuck. Fuck me running. Whose kid? Hang on. I wanted to see that other guy speak, but I don't want to. Just like to watch it on X if I could find it. Dude. This other dude speaks too. Did they make a fucking ad out of it? Ooh, they're roasting that dude already. That's funny. Where's the whole fucking video? Here it is.
Record for making us laugh, in some cases unintentionally. Podcaster and comedian Dave Smith, who's back on tour in June. Tickets are definitely available, although I'm here running out quickly. Returning to Uncensored, Adam the Body Bag Sosnick. PBD tells me this will be his very last chance on Uncensored, which I'm sure he will grasp. Media personality Emily Wilson, host of the Emily Saves Qatar podcast, and Jay Dyer. So welcome to all of you.
Why is Adam on the comedy panel?
Let's start.
Emily, I was a failed stand-up comedian. That got into finance and decided to focus on making money, which I know a lot of you influencers need to learn a little bit more about that, but happy to be here, Piers.
Well, hopefully we'll learn as we go along.
Both the political and the I'm a touring stand-up comedian. Thing became a lecture. Everything became about like making this point. And that's just the enemy of funny. And so you watched it. Comedy Central was like, dude, when I started comedy, so I've been doing stand-up for 20 years. When I started, Comedy Central, the
joke is fire.
And it was this. Just watch.
Tony reminds me of Charlie Kirk, in that he's definitely been on camera letting a guy unload in his throat.
So there will be a lot of people who will have found that.
It was so fucking funny.
Comedians. In fact, the biggest star on SNL, I found him when he was 19, Marcelo Hernandez, who has the #1 show on Netflix right now. He actually worked for myself and PBD at Valuetainment. So I know funny. I'm sitting in a van down by the river right now sweating my
God.
tush off right here. I'll shout out to Chris Farley. I've been around funny people. In fact, you know Vinny Oshana, who's on your show, one of the funniest, greatest people who's about to cross 1 million in comedy. He's incredible. But there's also people who make their name in this career by not being that funny. Pete Davidson.
Constitutional amendments protect us from the government, not from other free people. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing, y'all, is we're never going to agree on everything. Like, you're going to think people have dog shit, hateful views, and they think we have dog shit, hateful views that murder babies. We're literally ripping babies out of vaginas right now in America. Holy fuck. Fuck me running, man. Wowzers, wowzers. Yeah, like the Constitution protects us from the government, dude, not other people. Which it stuns me that we still don't know this.
Davidson is one of them. Jimmy Kimmel is one of them. I'm not going to go there and say Dave Smith is one of them. That's not what I'm going to do. But the reality is Charlie Kirk was an absolute hero. And what's happening with him, people are literally taking their proverbial shots at him. The bottom line is this. Pete Davidson, name one famous joke he's ever made.
I can tell you one famous joke that he's made that people are going to remember, and it's this Charlie Kirk joke. They'll remember Pete Davidson for many years to come. And he's proven his point wrong with what he's saying. Because he's talking about a Charlie Kirk joke right now on Piers Morgan. You fucking dumb mega cunt. Fuck me.
I can tell you jokes that Dave Chappelle made, that George Carlin made, that every single comedian famously made, Chris Rock, right? Bring me the big piece of chicken. What has Pete Davidson ever done that's been funny? In fact, when your dating career is more in the headlines than your comedy career, you're probably not that funny. So it's just par for the course. But the bottom line is this. We need to stop being so offended in this country and realize that free societies love comedians. And that's where we are.
Right. But so you end with a little stinger at the end because it looked like you were going down a path of saying you thought Pete Davidson crossed a line. So do you think he crossed a line? And should Netflix have aired that joke?
I don't think there's any line you can cross. The market will speak. If Pete Davidson wants to start doing stand-up comedy shows again and nobody shows up, let the market speak. I believe in free market capitalism. I don't believe in censorship. I don't believe in cancel culture, even if you're unfunny. If we were canceling unfunny people, there's a lot of comedians that would have been canceled years ago, Pete Davidson being one of them. So there's no line to cross.
Okay. And Dave, I didn't get a chance to specifically ask you about this. So just very quickly, what did you think of that joke?
It was hilarious. It was a great joke. I don't even like understand entertaining this conversation of whether it crossed the line. And as you pointed out, Pierce, right? Like it just shows everybody's hypocrisy immediately.
It really does.
Because like the people who are outraged about the George Floyd joke aren't outraged about the Charlie Kirk joke, and vice versa. It's a roast. It's edgy comedy, and if you don't like it, then don't watch it. It's really that simple. And you know, I mean, look, I'm friends with Pete, or I was friends with Pete when we were coming up in comedy together. And like, again, Adam can have whatever opinion he wants on who he thinks is funny and who isn't funny. The bottom line is that millions of people love Pete Davidson. And if he does go on a stand-up tour, he'll be selling out giant theaters. So like, if you don't like it, that's fine.
And he also
that was a hilarious joke.
He also does a lot of these roasts, and he regularly has awful jokes told about his father who died on 9/11, and he laughs and accepts.
That's true.
Right, but Pierce, but it's all about, obviously, right, with comedy, it's all about the intention, right? Like the intention of anyone doing comedy is to try to get everyone in the room to crack up laughing.
Right.
That's the goal. Pete does it. The goal when Pete tells that joke isn't like to get people to walk out. It's to kill to make it as edgy as possible and still hit you with a big punchline. And that's it. That's the the way comedy works. It's a discussion between the comic and the audience.
Well, I'll say that joke was the reason that we're having this discussion right now is because the joke was actually, in my opinion, Dave, you're entitled to yours. not funny. It was completely offensive. Gay Tony Hinchcliffe,
couldn't
sexual
you,
reference to the throat. Sure.
But Adam, couldn't you acknowledge, like, and I'm not trying to take a shot at you here. You failed out of being a stand-up. Well, you failed out of stand-up comedy, and Pete Davidson became a multi-millionaire famous success from it. So maybe you're not in a position to determine whether it's good comedy or not.
Facts.
No, the fact that I owned a comedy club and I hired hundreds of comedians gives me the credibility to say,
my God.
I know what's funny and not funny.
There is no
because
opinion.
I've seen people
There's no opinion.
who sell out
Let me just
crowds.
tell you this.
Dave, listen, let me speak. Dave, let me speak. You just spoke.
There's no one's
Relax.
opinion.
Relax, Dave. Let me at least speak. Okay,
Oh
I'm just. Are you gonna let me speak or no?
I'm pretty relaxed.
You started so well, you two.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
This dude's dumb.
The reality is this: the reason we're doing this show right now because it really wasn't that funny. What's the funniest joke Pete Davidson has ever said other than that joke? Dave Smith, comedian.
I know a ton of
exactly. He's
jokes,
never
dude.
told a funny joke.
All right, let me bring in Emily. Emily Wilson.
Adam,
Emily,
really
welcome
are,
back
like,
to
one of the dumbest people who talks for a living.
Let me bring Emily back in. Welcome you back to the show. Emily, what did you think of that joke? Because the George Floyd joke, which Dave referenced, was this was Tony Hinchcliffe, who said, the black community is so proud of you to Kevin Hart. Right now, George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard he can't breathe. And again, there were gasps, and then some people were laughing, some were clapping. Did you find that joke funny?
Well, yeah, Pierce, I can't be a hypocrite. If you recall, you were very upset about my joke about George Floyd that I had made previously. So, yeah, I do think it's funny. I also don't put George Floyd and Charlie Kirk in the same category. I thought the entire special was really good. I thought it was really funny. The only problem is I just didn't think that joke about Charlie Kirk was funny. I think he could have took that joke, used anyone else in a different scenario, and I think it would have been more funny.
Then for you?
Comparing a line that is supposed to be crossed, it's comedy. Do I think it's inappropriate? Yeah. Do I think it was uncalled for? Yeah. Do I think he could have done a better job? I don't think he's funny, and I don't think the joke was funny.
I don't think he's
You're
funny.
comparing a guy who has children that are going to grow up and see these things, whose throat got shot out, traumatizing millions of people around the world, to, like, I'm sorry, what's the politically correct statement? Blowing loads in the guy's throat? Those two things have nothing in common.
I mean, I'm not going to be a hypocrite either. If people want to laugh about the George Floyd thing, then just whatever. I mean, it is what it is. People in this country are never going to see eye to eye on shit. Like, man, there was semi-racist jokes. Who cares? It's called a roast. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, just, it's never going to not be a thing where one side is offending the other. And we're never going to agree on this with all people. It's never going to be a thing. I don't really think, I don't know. I think the George Floyd situation was probably, more people probably saw that than fucking the Charlie Kirk thing. Like, George Floyd begging for his life for like 5 minutes was highly disturbing. And Charlie Kirk's death was disturbing too. I can actually sit here and say I think both of their deaths were fucking horrific, but they're really not comparable with how they happened. Like, a cop, the state murdered George Floyd, and some nut job, Charlie Kirk, or the Blue and White Star place, possibly. Fucked up. Yeah, the Floyd, like, more people saw Floyd beg for his life than the Charlie Kirk thing. But I don't like seeing anybody die. You know what I'm saying? I don't, and I think anybody that would enjoy seeing somebody die has got issues, in my opinion. Like, to get an actual kick out of it, you know? Like, I don't I can't do that. Horrific shit horrifies me no matter what party they're from. Comedy is comedy, dude. It's gonna hurt some fucking feelings. Yeah, see, not me, man. I think watching Charlie Kirk's murder was horrific. And I think watching Charlie Kirk or George Floyd shit was horrific to watch. And seeing fucking Charlie Kirk light leave his eyes is kind of fucked up. Oh, you liberal guy need jobs. Bro, I'm off this weekend, dude. I'm chilling. Federal government just stopped new hospice enrollees who are on Medicaid. If you're on Medicaid and you need hospice care, you are fucked. Hospice is inhumane? What the fuck, dude? These people. Yeah, I'm about to have to bounce too, Titan. You have a good one. Have a great Saturday, everybody. If you're going to party. Trump looks and smells like formaldehyde, McDonald's farts, and burning diaper full of Indian food. He definitely looks like a piece of fucking burnt tangerine skin. I mean, ugh. They're also disgusting. One of my favorite Americans. What's up, Ida Maria? How you doing? I like being favorite American. Let's see.
It makes no sense, and I don't think it's funny.
Should
I want to point out.
Okay, but should Netflix? So look, you're perfectly entitled to find it funny or not. And as Dave,
actually the part RFK. In the case of JFK, because it went into the throat of RFK. So I feel like that joke, which went silent to the entire audience. Thank you. That was silent for the whole. The audience didn't think it was funny, but then I realized inappropriateness is actually the part that makes comedy funny. So while it may be inappropriate, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be aired. And I'll have you know, Piers, the last time I was on, we were disagreeing about a certain word that starts with the letter N. And I'll have you know, the black community has given me 23 N-word passes, and I have chosen, out of respect for you, to not use them on your show.
Well, that would be entirely a matter for you.
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. People can behave how they want.
Didn't the market, hold on. So in the case of what you said about the PBD guy, didn't the market speak in the case of Pete Davidson? You said, let the market speak. Didn't it speak?
Well, you actually, to be honest, Jay Dyer raises an interesting point. Dave says that we bring you back in here. If he decided to tell a joke right now, Jay Dyer, including the M word repeatedly, would you feel that crosses a line?
No, personally, no, I don't. If you're talking about a joke, if the intention is to be funny, then I think he's trying to make people laugh. And again, people can have whatever feelings they want to about this. But can I just point this out? Because this is a very, like, I've made this point a lot through the years of wokeism. But Piers, imagine, let's say, because like I grew up in Brooklyn in the 80s and 90s, and like I've been in a few project buildings in my day, and I don't know if anyone's ever like hung with black people in the hood, but you wouldn't really characterize them as being sensitive. You know, like that's not really the way. It's always like white.
Dave straight from the hood right here.
Liberals.
Dave, okay.
It's kind of like white liberals in defense of black people will like get very offended by this stuff. Just for example, let's say I had a really offensive joke, okay? Like a really edgy joke. And I were to go tell it on a job site, and I were to go tell it on a job site, and then I were to go tell it at an Ivy League university, where do you think I would draw more outrage? We all know it's at the Ivy League university. See, the thing is that people who have been through some fucked up shit tend to laugh at some fucked up jokes. And people who haven't been through that are like, what are you doing? I'm offended on behalf of these people.
True.
A lot of comedy is like a coping mechanism with the tragedy of life. And this is the way we do it. We try to laugh at that. My grandfather was a Jew who escaped Nazi Germany, and he loved Holocaust jokes. Like, life is complicated, man. And it's just, I don't.
Those are the best jokes, Dave. You're the best at that.
Oh my God,
Adam, what are you trying to do here,
it's
buddy?
still triggered.
Like, what are you trying to do?
I'm just saying those are good jokes. You're good at the Holocaust
okay.
jokes. I'm
Anyway,
proud of you.
okay, Adam. Okay,
I'm giving you a compliment
from last time. Okay. So
That's
anyway,
great. We're bringing up previous debates. Let's stay on this, Dave.
Yeah, I thought that's the rule. We're allowed to bring up previous debates where someone got destroyed. Remember?
Oh, exactly.
That's what you did last time.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh my
except
God.
I have one
just
that
like you and
I
Coleman
did.
Hughes.
Here's the
So
thing
let's
that
go.
I'm curious about. But this is
people.
what I want to know. Do you think if what happened to Charlie Kirk happened to a well-known and loved Democrat, that they would be telling any of these jokes? Absolutely not. Also, if you're saying the whole point of the joke is for the audience to thank you, and the whole point of the audience is to be like, this is hilarious. I'm a little, let's just say, unwell about the fact that the joke to the audience about getting his throat shot out, which traumatized millions of people, is like, ha, ha, ha. But yet Shane Gillis was like half the time getting oohs when it came to race, women, Jewish jokes. And I'm like, so they feel way more comfortable laughing about him. And they wouldn't say that about a Democrat. They just wouldn't.
Well, I certainly think it's true. I mean, had you had a big leading liberal Democrat figure assassinated like Charlie Kirk was, I don't think for a moment Netflix would have aired that joke about that person. So that I suspect there is a double standard, notwithstanding the fact that Netflix, in many people's eyes, deserve credit for sort of barreling through the woke period and saying, right, we're going to put this on our platform, right, with all its outrageous stuff.
Pierce, I think you're making a good point. By the way, I think Emily made a great point. And who said that women can't be funny? Look at Emily Save America right now. But I'll tell you this. Let me just shift the conversation. I think we should stop being so offended by jokes and be offended by the people who actually committed the crimes. The Tyler Robinsons, the Luigi Mangionis.
The fucking
I don't think the Ayatollah or
George
Nazis
Floyd
are that funny. We should be outraged at those people, not people telling the jokes about the people that were assassinated by these people. So Charlie Kirk was an American hero. It's a shame to see how he's sort of a punchline at this point. But I believe in a free society. I believe in the free exchange of ideas. And even though I'm disgusted by the joke, he could say it all day, every day, Pete Davis.
Well, look, it's interesting. I mean, if you look, let me just say what George Floyd's family said by way of response, for example. They responded through a spokesperson saying that Hart's decision to allow Tony Hinchcliffe on stage was sad for the culture, arguing that Hart should have stepped in before the joke landed, given Hinchcliffe's history of making similar remarks at other events. They said, we're trying to rebuild things for our community and make things better in our community. Let's try to be a little bit more positive and not sit up there doing colon inspections by white comedians.
Pierce, who said that quote, if you don't mind?
This was the George Floyd family.
Okay.
Why do we care what George Floyd family says about anything?
Yeah, why are we worried about their family?
Well, George Floyd was killed by a police officer who's now serving.
Oh, the hero, George Floyd, the innocent angel who helped society. Exactly.
Well, the police officer was found guilty of deliberately killing him. So that you can have your own view about it, but his family are entitled to take a view that they have. In the same way that Charlie Kirk's. It's interesting to me, Emily. You're outraged about the Floyd family having any feelings about him, who was killed by a police officer, but you're equally outraged the other way about the Charlie Kirk joke because you feel like he should be.
No, George Floyd overdosed. It was in the autopsy. The policeman did everything he was supposed to. The other policeman threw him under the bus. When you go through the training and all the legal stuff, I thought we had been over this and reached like a normal statement. He was a career criminal and he was a horrible person. And I don't care what him or his family that's happy to get money has to say about it.
Well, I don't think police officers should go around
let me pick up on what Emily said there. I think Emily is partially right, everything she said. I don't care about George Floyd. I think the bigger picture is this. We're comparing Charlie Kirk with George Floyd.
to a
Let's
black
just
man.
sink that in for a second.
Dude.
The fact that these two names are on the same page is hilarious, and it shows how ridiculous society has become. The greatest person on the right, the conservative that led the movement to helping Trump get elected on colleges versus a career criminal drug addict. This is the parallel. Stop it, guys. Let's grow up a little bit.
Okay, let me ask Jay this story. This was Kevin Hart defending the concept of a roast on social media.
That, my friend, is what the fucking roast is supposed to be. It's goddamn hard-hitting, relentless jokes with no consequence. It's the concept of a roast.
The fucking show is.
You go hard or you go home.
That's how it started.
No emotion, no fucking feelings, man. It's not what a roast is about. Leave the emotions and the feelings at the front fucking door. People are coming in and they're looking for the shock factor.
You know, that's the guy who was the target of most of the jokes. And like I say, when I watched it, the atmosphere in the room was very much like they're all sticking it to each other. All bets are off. There's no limit. You can say whatever you like, and everyone was having a good time. But the reaction of people who weren't in the room has been different in many cases. Should there be no line? I mean, you know, you raised a point about the use of the M word. Nobody would do that on a high-profile television show, radio show, podcast, or anything else. You just wouldn't hear it, right? You wouldn't hear it
unless your name's Nick Fuentes.
Well, you wouldn't.
Unless you're black.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about white people wouldn't do that. High-profile white people wouldn't, because they would believe it crossed a line. So there is a line there, isn't there? But it's a question of how far that line goes.
Exactly. And we're all ignoring the elephant in the room, which is the W question. We could talk about the JQ. We got Jews here. We could talk about that. But what about the WQ, which is the Wigger question? Because that's riding the line. And as a representative of the Wigger community, in fact, many people think that I'm kind of the emperor of Wigxanthium. I think that's a great segue. If we start using the word Wigger, if we accept Wigger culture, we can then transition into the normalization of the full-on N-word, and then everyone will have an N-word pass.
Hilarious.
Then we're done. Then we really have free speech.
Okay, I get the point you're making.
This is who is this, WLK right here?
No, I get the point you're making. But Dave Smith, is there no line? I mean, if you were listening to listen to this debate, it seems like if there's no line, there's no line. But there are lines, so we know that. It's a bit like the First Amendment. You know, everyone thinks it's protective of all speech, but it's not. There are limitations.
Yes.
But if you listen to the first half of this debate, you'd say, well, these guys don't think there should be any limit on a joke. So why is there a limit on using the M word, for example?
Okay, here. I mean, look, I think it's kind of subjective. Like in the same sense of saying whether you think something's funny or not is kind of whether you think a joke's funny or not. You're right, I guess, because to you, that's what it is. I will say this, okay, Pierce, there is one joke ever that I've been genuinely offended by. I think this is 20 years in stand-up comedy. There's only one joke I was ever genuinely offended by. And it was when Barack Obama got on at the White House correspondent dinner thing. And he made a joke. He said, Sasha and Malia are now old enough to date. I have 2 words for you boys, predator drones. And I remember being like, yo, dude, you can't joke about that. Like, you actually murder people with that's the joke, that like, hey, people get murdered by my predator drones. Like, so in that sense, that's the only time I've ever been offended by a joke. You'd have to be an actual murderer who is joking about the murders that you commit. I think that's over the line. Aside from that, Pierce, no, I don't really think there is one. And if you listen, again, you don't have to watch the show. You don't have to go to a comedy club. You don't, if you're offended by it, you're not wrong. It's just, then it's not for you.
It's funny that he only brought up Barack Obama, because Trump has literally been blowing fucking boats out of the water with drones, man. Fuck me running. MAGA would fail psychology test, 8-hour test, psychologist to be a cop. And if you fail, you're out. That's the most important to pass here. It's really wild. But yeah, I think this is where America's at. People are never gonna agree on something like that right there. And we can say it's because one side's racist as fuck, or the other side's this or they're that. But it kind of just is what it is. It's pretty fucked. I didn't like it. I think we all have way more in common than we have not in common. Put up a survey and make surveys like this or dumb. Group consensus. Survey says let's see. Trying to check some of this out. No, the joke was funny as fuck. And it's subjective, Brad. It is. Like shit that's funny to you is not gonna be funny to me, or it could be, but likely not. That's just what it is. Comedy is fucking subjective. And I do believe that we use comedy to like make terrible situations more lighthearted. For real. I think most people think that, Brad. Fucking A. Mike and Micro. I don't know if Micro's still there. I don't understand how the party of small government wants government controlling this stuff. It's crazy. It is crazy. It's stunning. They flip on everything, dude, for Trump. Like, fuck Trump. He's a piece of shit. He's always been a piece of shit. Microbe Joe, what's up, dude? Meow Mix, what is? I don't understand the party that talks about fraud and caring so much about fraud and the Epstein shit gets past his connection to Epstein and fucking his being a fraudulent piece of shit. I mean, he's been conning people his entire adult life. Trump, as he watched Pete Hegseth's hearing.
I'm gonna come.
Fucking.
And then they eat the poo poo. I'm gonna come.
I'm gonna come. I am pretty chill right now, dude. These dabs, buddy. I'm telling you, live rosin is where it's at. But they're all fucking. I'm definitely chill. I'm very chill. My eyes are almost fucking closed. I'm fucking toasted, dude. I am fucking stoned. I haven't really been smoking wax for a while, and that shit will fuck you up, dude. That shit will fuck you up. For real. And I was just sitting here smoking like a joint for like fucking forever. That was like the second joint. I think I was lit. Jesus. Got a contact buzz. Fuck me. Shit. Goddamn, boy. Shit, I'm higher than a motherfucker. Look, I'm lighting more. Fuck. Damn, man. Definitely good times. Yeah, I got to take my ass to sleep. I'll be back in the morning, y'all. All about regulation now because dabs are mean as fuck. Yeah, the dabs fucking annihilate me, dude. I don't even know what either party stands for anymore. I don't like the whole party divide, especially like among tribe shit. I be vibing for real. This is a fucking vibing live. So everybody have a great fucking Saturday. I'm gonna sleep. Mike, have a good one. James, have a good one. Is that the guy who drank the bleach was going to blow? Which one drank bleach? Oh, I don't know how many of them really drink bleach. But yeah, Almost High, Kyra, POV, James, Ida Maria, have a good one. Sweden's Princess Sophia was in one picture with Epstein when she was a model, and now royal family has said she can't be seen anymore because of that. That's fucked up. If she was a model, she's probably a victim. So that's even more crazy. Yeah, everybody have a great day. RGL, have a good one. I'll be back in the morning, y'all. Everybody if you go party tonight, be safe. Get a domestic or a designated driver. Oh my God. I am fucking way chill right now. I'm just chilling and vibing, brothers and sisters. We'll see you guys on the next one. Fuck Donald Trump. As always, much love to the good people. Love y'all. Jeez. I look toasted. My goodness. I look fucking ripped. I'm fucking ripped. Deuces.